Hello and welcome back to Dark Souls 2. Today we are going through Huntsman's Copse. And it starts right here again, and I've honestly never noticed this light up there. It looks quite unique. Or is this new? Was this there before? Probably not, right? Never noticed that change. If there was a change, I need to have a look back in the other videos. But yeah, let's go to Huntsman's Copse. I've actually googled this time what it means, because I'm going to talk about this later. First of all, how do we get there? We get there by going through here, and we manage that by talking to her now. If you don't remember anymore, this is the woman that we found in Heights Tower of Flame after the Dragon Rider boss fight. She's above the Dragon Rider boss arena, and she was the one selling miracles.
Oh, hello there. An honor to see you again. This room is not as it seems. There are two, not one pathways leading out. And only this lovely thing reveals the other path. And this, you lovely thing, only runs on miracles.
About that.
Shall I provide you with one?
Sure. She's a fraud. Let's move the path. Pay 2,000 souls. And while we are not looking, while we are praying, she quickly activates the mechanism and then acts like she is doing the miracle stuff.
Go ahead then.
Well, thank you, that was so nice of you.
The miracles be with you. Offer your souls to the gods.
Of course, we as the third-person camera dude notice this fraudulent stuff here, but our character has no clue, right? Because our character was praying, and now it opens up another cave. This is such a strange way of making another transition, but this is now how many times do they do this? Like every single time. Forest of Fallen Giants, you have to go through a nonsensical tunnel structure, right? Then for Heights Tower of Flame, nonsensical tunnel structure. Then the gutter and what's it called here? The big hole. After you're gone through the hole, it's technically the same thing, just a bit better. Like the hole, like the gutter and the what's it called? The other area. I can't remember what the area in front of. Oh no, it was the gutter. Never mind. Like that's not as offensive, I would say. Or offensive, like because it's kind of offensive to the player, because this transition is kind of it's a whack transition. It's a pretty weakly designed transition, and I don't know. I don't feel these transitions at all. But it is how it is, I guess. Now, where do we originate? We come from underneath, so we are basically just walking straight forward, yeah. We're walking straight over. We came from here, like from underneath us is the cave system, okay. At least we are not looping back to the fire, to Majula. Let's see, I want to go to the area first, and I want to talk about the name. Huntsman's Copse. Not with an R. There is no R in Copse. Or Copse, whatever. Pronunciation's still a bit wonky, but at least I know what it means now. So, Majula should be here. And all of the sun, it's all is woods. Everything is woods. And that is what Copse means. Basically. Another word would be something like woods and shit like that. Forest. So, has nothing to do with a corpse, has nothing to do with the French word copse, or core, how it's pronounced, I think core, right? As I mistook it for. So no, nothing to do with that. I finally googled it. For some reason, all the time, from the beginning where the game first came out, up to now, I for some reason thought it was corpse with an R. I don't know why. Makes no sense, but I wasn't thinking. But let's talk to this strange person, sitting in a chair, looking against the wall.
The dark stirs.
Wow.
I see that. The dark has sparked within you.
Spark. The dark
My
sparked.
name is Falcon.
Really?
I will trade with you what you need.
So he's selling Chaos Rapier, which has nothing to do with the dark, because Chaos is fire. Archtrek Staff has dark scaling, but it's shit. Archtrek Chime, also shit. Chaos shit. Fire again. What the? Like, I feel like they wanted to go in a specific direction with this character, but in the last moments they just switched it up, because these chaos things, they don't fit to this character, I feel like. And what is it about with like dark sparking in you? That's the dark is the opposite of sparking, of fire. It's like the absence of that. And this is your dude who sells your hexes. And you can get access to hexes after doing Heights Tower Flame. So from the get-go, basically, you just need to beat a boss that you can just lure off the edge. So you don't even need to fight anything. You just need to go through the fog gate, and then maybe you need to kill one of the giant guardians. Otherwise they will hit you on the back while you're trying to go through the fog gate, but then you have access to hexes. Hexes are a bit special because here Resonant Soul, Great Resonant Soul, all these hexes that look like they have like black lightning in them, I think they all require souls to cast as well, if I'm not mistaken. It transforms a certain number of souls into HP over a period of time, transforms a certain number of souls into attack power, and these are extremely strong hexes. And usually, if this game would have been Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3, Elden Ring, that wouldn't matter that you're using your currency as fuel for the spell. That wouldn't matter. But in this game it does, because you have your fucking soul memory, which makes all these spells fucking useless if you want to play PvP. Of course, if you're going through the game offline, or you don't care about PvP, like you just want to have the PvE experience, maybe with a bit of co-op here and there, but you're not really invested in it, then these are fine. Like Great Resonant Soul is extremely strong, and so is Resonant Weapon. But honestly, Dark Weapon and Dark Orb are also pretty strong, so... And look at the uses, 4 uses, 21 uses. This one has 21 uses as well. But the interesting part here is, as you can see, these need a little bit more intelligence, and these need substantially more faith. And this also means that you cast these with a chime and these with a staff. And then he has magic barrier for some reason. But yeah.
These are for you.
Give me your clothes. Thanks.
Together into the dark. No matter, the time will come.
Yeah, whatever. Weird fella. What stuff? Yeah, well. If you're going for a hex build, you want to use this stuff. It's the best Xing stuff in the game, use it as soon as possible. But yeah, let's continue, because we have 2 bosses to cover. I don't know if I managed this, but let's go a bit deeper into this game, into this area, I should say. We have a cave system here with a bunch of butterflies, of course doing their poison shit, and another torch guy whose torch isn't emitting light, which is unlucky. Kinda sad. I kinda wish they would emit it. Emit light with the torch. And here we come finally into oh, he jumped up from the roof. And this part of the area was one of their showcase things, I would say. This is also the area where the network test or something was held, I think. And this room here was one of their big reveal thingies, where they wanted to highlight their new mechanics, where you can remove these boards and all of a sudden it becomes more bright in here. Wow, technology. But honestly, because they got rid of their torch mechanics almost, this wasn't like, this is not impressive, to be honest. And again, what is this room? I'm going to talk about this room later on, a bit later on, in a short time actually. Not now though, because we're currently under this bridge that apparently was once a stone bridge, but the stone bridge got destroyed and got replaced by this wooden bridge now all of a sudden, which is, to be honest, a fairly big downgrade, but who cares. What I want to do is activate the bonfire first. And then unlock this kind of cool shortcut. I enjoy these shortcuts where you destroy a piece of the environment and then all of a sudden you have a shortcut instead of opening a door. Like, opening a door is meh, right? Everyone can do this. But coming up with a shortcut that makes sense, that looks good, that feels natural, is a bit more unique. Even though putting a tree there so you can kick down that tree is also a bit meh, but it's better than a door, right? It's better than a door with bars where you can technically slip your hands through the bars and open the door from the other side, which you can't do in this game. But I'm going to, I said I want to talk about the room there, about the building. I'm going to do that after I've tried this jump. So what you want to do here, if you're not using Cheat Engine, you want to start running in that direction and fall off. Good starts to get this item, and you need to do a jumping attack, or a plunging attack I should say. You want to run, you want to jump, and then while falling you're pressing an attack button to do the plunging attack, like so. I swung there with my weapon because I can't do the jumping attack here because of one of these scripts that I have on right now. But if you're doing this without Cheat Engine, then you want to do a plunging attack. Otherwise, your character is doing a roll after the landing, and they will roll down here, and you can't access this item anymore. And sometimes you will even die because you roll off the edge as well. Depends on where you land. And then here, just to be safe, jump against that thing. Oh, now I rolled. Ah, interesting. And now you're in this cave down here. Nope. This is the torch. Let's light one. and see where this cave leads to. And another cave, and it's the same cave we were in before, just a level lower. One level lower. There are also a bunch of butterflies here. You can shoot them down with arrows or with other ranged options. What sometimes happens, or what always happens, is if you get rid of this one, they will drop an item that lands on this mushroom. And you can try and retrieve it by jumping against, running and jumping against the wall. And I failed there again. Here we have one of these extremely large basilisks, and technically we can even see their real eyes, because these big blobs on their head aren't their eyes. These are fake eyes. These are the eyes of death. They have actually eyes on their side of the head, above the mouth there. Let's get rid of it. Honestly, I don't know what this thing is doing down here. It shouldn't be able to survive, because it's way too big. Can't get out. Nothing to eat. Makes no sense. And for some reason I put this weird thing here. Why is there a illusory wall here? But why? That makes no sense. Is it like your... Maybe this is a pet. Oh, that could be it, right? Because we see a bunch of cages here. What the people probably did is they put their prisoners in here and fed them to the basilisk. And maybe that's how the basilisk survived. So it's imprisoned there. And it's like a very gruesome trap for people. And then you can stand up on the rock formation in the cave and look down and see how the people get eaten or something. And what I'm noticing right now, I'm rushing through this here because I have in mind I can just make this episode a bit longer. That's not a problem. Oh, we can see there another one of these invisible hollows. Like this area, as well as every other area, suffers from I'm an area and I'm designed like a level that doesn't fit in a overarching world. Because why is there this big ass hole here? Is this... No, this is not leading to the cave, it's leading nowhere. I mean, the idea would be to make this maybe the feeding hole, but there is a cave in between, like the basilisk shit is more over there. It's in the big ass cave. So, like, what is the purpose of this room? Why does this indent here exist? Why is there an indent over here? Why are the hollows hanging on the side there? Why are they doing that? Why is there a big ass hole here? Why is there no furniture? And stuff like this here. Like, why do we have a staircase that leads you to a ladder? Why not build the staircase? If you want to access the roof, why not build a staircase to the roof? Why do you need a ladder for that? I feel like I have a problem with ladders in video games, really, because it's like, yes, it's an easy method to connect two places with each other that are above each other, right? But I would say, or if I would design a level, I would try to avoid ladders because it's unnatural. Like, Imagine having access to a roof that you want to use, right? You want to use this roof. It's not just for maintenance and stuff like this, right? You want to use this roof for some activities, whatever. Then you want to put a staircase there. If it's for maintenance and stuff like this, then sure, put a ladder there. Like, not many people need to use this, like... And then why is this hole so big? Why is there no trapdoor here? Imagine if it's raining, then everything rains in that room. For what do you even have this roof? Where does this lead to? There's nothing inside. I can't see shit. Let's see. Can I throw... Nope. Oh, I have no fire bombs. 2 more. Can throw into the window. Yeah, but it explodes at the black wall there. Okay, no more. Where am I right now? Let's put the Estus flask out of here. Okay. It's just for this item. Like this roof serves no purpose. It's a level. It's a level, and it's been designed to be a level, not to be a seemingly functional part of the world design. And this is why the world design of this game is very poor, I feel like. The only thing that the world brings across is the broad message they wanna... They wanna... tell? No. What do you do with messages? Missing words here again, man. My vocabulary is kind of weak right now. But do you know what I want to say? Like, they have their... they have an overarching theme. And it's telling you something. And it's telling you the obvious thing, right? It's telling you what the developers want this area to tell you. But for some reason, they haven't thought about the world itself. Like, they're neglecting the world in favor of gameplay, in favor of just having a level that looks somewhat interesting. But it's not even interesting, that's the problem. It's just woods. Woods. A building close to a destroyed bridge, where they now have another bridge. Or they built another bridge there. Right, like the stone bridge collapsed or got destroyed, and they've built a wooden bridge instead, and stuff like this. Like, this area is supposed to tell a story, and it's telling a story, if you're reading item descriptions, that is. I mean, it's called Huntsman's Copse, yeah, so what? Like, these are hunting grounds. What are they hunting? Well, they're hunting undead, but we don't know that yet. We don't know that because we're not... I mean, the game is telling us that. We have all these prisons here, we have this... We will see that in a short time, what this area is all about, but... this part of the area is not really conveying the message. That's, I think, a good word to say this. Forlorn, this invader doesn't belong here necessarily. This invader can invade at a lot of other locations. But for some reason this is always the first location I encounter this invader. Usually he can invade you as well in the Lost Bastille, but he never does it for me. Usually I think he invades in front of the... or close to the petrified statue before you can get into the into the room with many soldiers in front of the Sentinel boss fight. It's kind of weird that he never invades there. But yeah, what this is supposed to be, these are basically hunting grounds where hunters or people that got hired by the king that are hunting down the undead. The undead are being hunted and put into cages like these, here, like these makeshift prisons. And we'll later see with the chariot boss fight how they get tormented there and stuff like this. But up to this point, like, here it starts telling the story with the prisons. But before that, not really. Like, it feels like they got down the basics of the world design. They got their basics. Their level design is a bit too much level design and too little world design because of the building layout. Because if you're creating a building, at least in my mind, you should think of what is this, what is the use of this building? And I can decide, as a level designer, I can decide this, right? What is this building for? Why do I want to have a building here? Do I want to have the building just because I want to have a building here? Or what's the purpose of this building? Is it there to... is it like a housing unit, or is it a kitchen unit, or is it in this case here like a torture room or whatever? And when you know what you want to build, then you can think of the level. How do I want the level to... how do I want the level layout to be? Right? What kind of enemy do I want to put in there? Do I want to put in items there? And I need to keep the world design in mind. Right? This is supposed to be a housing unit with beds and stuff, right? Then I want to put in some beds in a manner where it makes kind of sense. But I want the level to be interesting as well. So I need to do some interesting stuff with this housing unit in mind. Like, it's supposed to be a housing unit, but it's also supposed to be a fun level. So maybe remove a few beds and make an interesting overall building layout. Maybe more level than just one level, right? Maybe it's a 2-story building, or maybe 3 stories, because you have so many people that live in there. Excuse me. And I don't feel like it's that hard to think of something like this. It's not that hard. But for some reason, at least in the From Software games, it's always fairly poorly designed, I must say. Even though I love the Souls games, but it doesn't feel like a living world. It feels like it's fun to go through, and they're telling a interesting story, right? The story and the lore is there, but the world is kind of wonky. And I always can describe the world in the Dark Souls games, and it's now the 3rd time in total where I'm telling the same thing, but the whole world feels like a dream. It's my best comparison for these things. And by the way, this hollow is always running away. Look how fast it is. Run, run. Oh, I gotcha. Wow, useless. But we're not going up there yet, because as we can see, this is the main bridge. where we came from. There's an item up there. And there's still this bridge. I want to go there first. Right? In order to do that, the way we can do this is by going over here. It's a bridge next to the other bridge. Because for some reason we have this biggest chasm here. And then these enemies. But yeah, back to my comparison here. Like, the Souls games feel like a dream world. Because in a dream world, usually when you're dreaming, I mean, that's a different thing when you're lucid dreaming, but when you're just normally dreaming, most of the time, most people don't notice that it's a dream, right? They're just doing their adventure in their mind, like they're just dreaming, and the layout of the world in your dream, most of the time, makes absolutely no sense. It's hard to notice, because you're not actively looking at these things, usually. But occasionally you're noticing that, right? Or at least after the dream, you're noticing it, right? First you're in the city, and then let's say you are jumping up high, and then you're in this, and you're jumping on this tree that is in the ocean and stuff like that, right? Weird things like these, where the layout makes no sense, but you're not thinking about this, right? You're doing your thing in the dream. You don't care, it doesn't matter. But in a video game, I would think like it matters somewhat. And sometimes you need to trick. You need to trick a little bit, because you can't display what you should display. For example, Bloodborne is a good example. Bloodborne, they did everything, or almost everything, correct there. Right, their city, their grand city. Bloodborne's city layout looks amazing. It feels alive somewhat. There are a few things where I think like it's but most of the time the city is fucking beautiful. And then we go to Elden Ring, where, for example, Leyndell, where it's all of a sudden, it's still a fun level and it still looks amazing, but it doesn't feel as good as Bloodborne's city design. Because in Bloodborne, it's a linear level, or it's a more linear level, it's not an open world. In an open world, it's fairly hard, because you can't just put a 1-to-1 size city there. Like Leyndell, if you want to model Leyndell, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google Leyndell right now. Elden Ring Leyndell, and you will find it, even though the writing is a bit weird of the name, but you'll know what I mean. Like, if they wanted to make this city realistic, they had to make it 10 times as big or something. Maybe even bigger. Maybe the whole Elden Ring map should have been as big, or should have been the whole city. The whole city should have been as big as the whole game. And you can't do that in an open world. But in a more linear game, such as Dark Souls 2, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, where you have only one level, you can trick. You can trick a bit. For example, let's just go here, right? All of this stuff there is inaccessible, right? These 3 JPEGs of the trees there. These. I let them live because I want to talk about these whip dudes. But all what you see there, you can make city. And this is a big advantage if you're making a game like this compared to an open world game, because in an open world it's way harder to trick the eye, or to use these tricks. you would have to make things inaccessible and stuff like this, and it feels bad because it's supposed to be an open world game. Why can't I go there? Right. But I'm going to talk about city building a bit more when we are in Dark Souls 3, I think. Because Lothric is a good example there with trickery. But yeah, I want to talk about this path here a bit, because what the fuck are these dudes doing? They're standing on their pillars here. Like, there's one of these weirdest pillars. They're just standing up there. What the hell are you doing the whole time? You're just standing up there. And with your whips. And have you seen that when the whip dudes, they had this aura, this dark aura around their weapon? That absolutely does nothing, but to the player, it's just a visual effect, but it failed with the whip because it was the VFX were a straight line while the whip was coiled up in their hand. It looks so weird. But yeah, let's keep going. Because this bridge, at the end of the bridge, is something interesting. Of course, we have the hanging hollows here and the holes in the bridge, so we need to be careful. And the hollows will eventually stand up, and we're in the Undead Purgatory. Should I make a separate video about the Undead Purgatory? No. Let's kill this one. But here now finally the story is being told. It's an undead purgatory. It's a purgatory for the undead. Like eternal suffering. I'm not getting this item there, I don't care. Because this jump is criminally dangerous. Especially to jump back. Jumping there is easy, jumping back is a bit harder. And here we have an invader. But they didn't invade. So this character is here always. And they have they have this glow on them. Let's get rid of them. They're fairly hard to beat, I feel like. I'm talking about these soldiers in a different episode, I think. But this is a teaser of what's to come after this boss fight here. But like, yeah, this is supposed to be a prison and it feels like a prison or some type of prison. Let's go and meet the boss. Because it's a gimmick boss. And the first half isn't really fun. I feel like. It's kind of fun, but it's also kind of not fun because it's a bit janky. Because as you can already see, you have these skeletons inside. And this is not the boss is the horse. But if we look back, there's this big ass hole, so we only have one direction to go in. Then there are skeletons here, and this thing is going around, and we have these cages here. Or these staircases with cages. Let's get rid of the skeletons. And we don't get any souls, and oh! They're being resurrected. Who is resurrecting these? The music is stressful. And who is this? I shouldn't have killed him. But all of a sudden, these skeletons drop souls. As you can see, the soul is floating towards me. So there are two ways of fighting this boss. You can just stand in one of these nooks and shoot this boss with spells or arrows. Right, okay, these aren't being resurrected. Let me drag them back to the summoner. I should just walk through here, right? Yeah, good. Grab these things. Where's the summoner? There. Come on, I want to see you summon. Don't step out of that. Idiot. Okay, quickly. Let's cast a spell. No, not this spell. Resurrect. Do the resurrection thing. No, you idiot. Ah, you. Resurrect your skeletons, you idiot. He doesn't want to resurrect them because he sees me, probably. No, he's casting it. Ah, interrupted. Come on, resurrect them. Do it. Otherwise you will die. Yeah, okay, who cares? One more try, maybe. He's an idiot. When is he dying from that? No one cares. But yeah. Excuse me? What you can also do, this is the normal way of doing this, is you can lower this gate. And then you have a normal boss fight. Instead of this. Where is he? Look, he's dead. The charioteer, or what you want to call it, is dead. But the horse is still there. And the horse has a pretty cool design, like this two-headed skeleton horse. The two heads are the unique part. Because we've seen skeletal horses in all over media, but not with two heads. It's fairly easy to beat. What you need to be careful of is the darkness breath. Like, their breath is so bad that you will die when being exposed to it, I guess. Oh, bad breath joke. But yeah, let's keep going up here. And I guess I'm going to make another video about the different covenants, so I'm not joining this covenant quite yet. Let's talk to him anyways.
Oh, welcome. Welcome. Do you have a lust for blood?
No.
Well, that's no fun. Go back home. This is no place for you.
Okay. Yeah, this is PvP. Your invade covenant. Same as Cathedral of Blue, where it's your PvP protection good guy covenant. This is your PvP invasion evil guy covenant. Same things basically. There's an hidden item over here. Let me get there. Can also go this way, I guess. Ah, I'm too stupid for that. I'm not patient enough. Let's let this bonfire. Hug the sides, maybe don't. No. Here we go. Again, what is this area for? Makes no sense, just for a secret. At least they haven't used a ladder for this, they have used a staircase here, which is progress. Let's continue and go back to this one. Oh no, I'm good in time. I'm good in time. Well, I had a lot. Oh no, never mind. I had a lot of negative things to say about their buildings here, but the landscape design is kind of fine. Like, I enjoy the. Oh, I saw something back there. I kind of enjoy their. Like, for some reason they're better at designing ruined structures and stuff like this, make it more interesting than their buildings. Like, their destroyed buildings are more interesting than their somewhat intact buildings. Because how this bridge is structured, or these parts of the bridge is structured, that looks quite nice. I, for some reason, I really like this bonfire here. Like with this small storage unit. Feels kind of nice and cozy. And the woods here, maybe minus the extremely big chasm. Even though, like, the chasm is fine. Don't get me wrong. It makes the whole area a bit more interesting. It's just a cliff. It's not even a chasm. It just leads into the, like, if you would fall or go down there somehow, you would stand in the just another level of the woods, I guess. But the Souls games like to elevate their player world a lot. Like if you notice it, like everything is on a hill, on a mountain, or surrounded by high cliffs and stuff like this, right? Everything. Like the whole kingdom here is on a big ass island with high cliffs towards the sea. We don't have a beach. Stuff like these. Stuff like these, like Dark Souls 1 was like the whole city. What was it called? Lordran. All of Lordran is on a giant mountain. Like if you look down the walls, you can't even see the ground. You're above the clouds always. Same thing in this game, like maybe not to an extreme, but no, that is quite extreme. Like Forest of Fallen Giants was the outlier here, and technically the gutter. But in the gutter you had a lot of drop-offs. The whole area is a drop-off. But it works. It makes everything feel more secluded and stuff like that. And by the way, let's talk a bit about the lore here, or the world building here, the kind of well-made world building, because we have here. First of all, we have a drawbridge here that you can actually move to limit the movement of your prey, so to speak, because these are the grounds where hunters were deployed to torment and hunt down hollows. And we can see it also right here, like with the burning bodies, with the undead purgatory over there, with all the torture imagery that we can see here in battle and stuff like this. And these rogues, or roguelike characters that we are fighting, these are the employed hunters, and they're not really hunters, they're like scoundrels, rogues, like the bandits, the lower folk, basically. It's not a knight in shining armor that is hunting down, that's taking the duty to eradicate the land of the filthy undead. No, these are just regular people, right? These are the poor people that are doing crime to survive, basically. Now we have two options: over this bridge, along this cliffside, or through the cave. Let's go through the cave first. And we have here a bonfire that we can't open yet, with an NPC sitting inside, in between two skeletons. I guess he has some company. The correct decision would be to go over the bridge, but let's go through this cave first. Because let's see what the cave has to offer. We hear weird noises. And we can see this urn is doing something, and these urns will curse you when you're getting too close to them. They will apply curse to you. You can destroy them by throwing stuff at them, by shooting them, or by just rolling through them. And we have more summoners. Isn't that amazing? I thought there was an item in these vases. But as you can see... Hey, I wanted to showcase the vase, or the urn, or whatever. But as you can see, it can be a bit overwhelming with all these skeletons here. With all these undead. Then over here we have a bridge there. Honestly, in real life I wouldn't cross this bridge. Like, no thank you. But even here we have areas, or we are being pushed towards this cliffside here. I'm not going there yet. I want to explore this cave with all the skeletons and summoners inside. What this cave is being used for, who knows? I don't. There are a bunch of vases here, and then we have... Oh, it's a gate. Why would it build a gate in a cave? For what reason? You're not using this cave to store certain things. Like, you have vases here, yes. And a few torches, but that's it. Maybe you could have put there like a few beds. Maybe this is where the hunters lived during the hunt here, where they took shelter. Maybe this is where these rogues live, which are the hunters that I'm referring to. Like, just with a few more assets, like you have, like, you can just put a piece of fabric on the ground, like a few more wrinkled up pieces of fabric, like rugs, or just just put a few makeshift beds in there, maybe a few Holz boxes, I'm speaking German, wooden boxes, with cups and stuff on them, or vases, whatever, like smaller ones, maybe a few buckets. And it could make this area a bit more believable, I would say. Over here we have a random ass invasion. Or a fairly easy NPC, you can easily beat this one if you're lucky. I think she can drop her, like, everything she's wearing minus the scythe, because the scythe is a boss drop. But I think she can drop her shield, maybe, and her helmet, and the rest of her armor set, which is fairly rare. Like, the helmet and the shield are rare. What you can do here is you can jump off here, grab this item. I don't need to do that yet. I don't need to do that. I did just grab a key, right? Can't remember what she dropped. Let's go back a bit. Because there's... I don't know. Yeah, maybe this is part of a cage here, or maybe this is also part of a shelter. Because it's the same structure as these circular cages they had in, like, at the beginning, or the mid part of the level design of the level. Just this one has no bars, so I guess this is also some kind of shelter for the hunters. So let's keep going. I hate this. Why? Just wall this part off. I can climb over there. I can bypass the boss Just let me climb over here. It's not hard. It's way harder to kill a dragon or something than to climb over these rocks here. I can fit through there. Like, come on. Come on, From Software. Then we have the main entrance to the second boss fight. Give me that. Goodbye. Combustion over here. Get rid of the skeletons. By the way, this item over there is something very precious. These are lacerating arrows. Or laceration arrows. The only arrows in the game that apply bleed. And I think these are the only ones that you can get. You can't buy them. So, well, there are bleed arrows in the game that you can't buy. Thanks, FromSoft. There was a crystal lizard here, I wasn't fast enough, I don't care. I don't care about the crystal lizard. I don't need to care about this, but you want to rush the crystal lizard down when you're here. Now let's open this nonsensical gate that just exists here, so the player has to go a certain way. Nope, wrong side, I almost fell off. Because I made weird movements. Here we have another hollow that just runs. I don't know why they had to implement these runners, but now I should be able to open this door because I grabbed the key from... Was it from the invader? I can't remember. Let's talk to him.
Who are you? I thought you were that bastard for a moment. You've set me free. Now I can find him. The cheeky prick. He won't know what hit him.
Oh?
I am Creighton of Mirror. I travel from land to to hone my blade. I've heard this land was full of danger. I thought it would suit me perfectly. I joined forces with a man on the way, but he was no more than a backstabbing knave. He took the first chance he had to try and off me. I decided to set a trap for him here. But then I got trapped myself. I can't believe that I was so dense. Thank the stars that you came along. You be careful of him. Pate, I think he said. He wears this rather unusual ring. You know it when you see it.
I can't see if people wear rings.
He kills entirely for the pleasure of it. I'm sure I won't be his last victim. The man's better off dead. Tell you. He's a slick talker, so don't let him fool you. Pate, the man with a strike, and don't you believe a word. I'll find a common for bad and put an end to his roguery.
Okay. So yeah, who's telling the truth? Who knows? How many... Let's see how many summons I can summon for that boss fight. Because I can summon Creighton now. And I can summon... Where is he? Which one? The torch is kind of blinding me right now. Here. Bashful Ray. Let's see if they can beat the boss. But for some reason, isn't there a third summon that you can summon there? Come on. No, I don't think you can you can summon two for this boss fight, right? Technically, Bashful Ray is one of them, of course. I just got him here. He's following me. And Creighton, now that I freed Creighton and got my bonfire, I should be able to summon him where the gate was. Still behind me? You need to be careful a little bit when you summon NPCs, because if you summon them and then run too far away from their origin, like you need to wait fairly close to them. If you're not doing this, they will run up to you and then just spam the gesture if they're doing a gesture, so you can bug them a bit. But as you can see, Creighton is one of the old models, character models, and Bashful Ray, as I said once before, is one of the newer ones, or the newest model technically. Sometimes Creighton can just fall off, so be careful, because he accelerates fairly quickly and then can't stop. But I guess it worked out. So let's see if they can manage to kill this boss. We don't need for Creighton to be alive. So, at least I think. Nah, who cares? I kinda like his more slow moveset. It kinda feels better. But it feels like it has less... No, it kind of feels like it has more weight behind certain swings than the player's moveset. It's a bit more slower and methodical. Ooh, that roll there. Ooh. So you have in total 3 of these skeleton lords here. And the idea is, or how the fight is working, is when you kill one, they will erupt like this, and they will summon skeletons. And these skeletons are also part of the boss fight, so you need to clear them out as well. And if you want to have a fairly easy time, is you want to get rid of the skeletons first before you kill the second lord. But what they have done is now every single lord is dead, and we have now these shield and poke stick. What is it? Is it a S-Stock? Yeah, shield and S-Stock skeletons. We have like these dual wheel skeletons with their armor on, and we have, of course, the skeleton wheels, which aren't as hard as in Dark Souls 1. These are the nerfed versions. They're much more manageable, and they're kind of a pushover. They still deal a lot of damage, but not as much. So far it looks quite good for these two. Creighton has still above 50% HP. And of course, I'm taking a lot of aggro here. I can't change that. I kinda wish I had, or this cheat table had a script for being invisible to enemies. I can probably do this somehow, but I don't know how. I have no idea how to script with Cheat Engine, or in general. Ooh, Creighton is getting a bit tired here, I would say. It looks like it. But Ray is still... I kinda wonder why he's not using his pyromancy. Like, especially Firestorm or whatever he's using would work perfectly here for all the skeletons. But they did it. Good job, you two. Good job, you two. Well, that was a nice fight. So, I think this is where I end the episode, because first of all, we are already at 1 hour, and second of all, technically the next area starts past this point, past the next bridge technically, so I want to do that next episode. But yeah, Huntsman's Copse. Not corpse. It's nothing to do with corpses, even though there are a bunch of corpses in this area and in this level. It has nothing to do with a corpse. Nothing to do with a core either. Huntsman's Copse. I can't believe that I got this wrong all the time. Without an R. No R involved. But yeah. How would I change this level up, honestly? Because I'm criticizing here and there, but I'm not offering any kind of like insight on how I would do certain things. Like the only really things that are bugging me in this level are maybe you want to put in a few more elements of living, let's call it like that, like beds and like makeshift beds, not fancy beds, right? For the hunters in the caves maybe, and buckets like this, maybe makeshift chairs and tables and stuff like this. Like not many, maybe they're sitting on the ground, right? You don't need a table, but maybe boxes that were used as tables and stuff like this. Maybe a small bonfire, like not a bonfire where we can sit at, but or maybe why not, right? Instead of having the bonfire and Crichton's thing there, make the area so that it feels more lived in, especially the caves, right? And then they need, in my opinion, they need to change up the building. The building with the windows that you can, where you can destroy the boards, the wood beams that are blocking the light. Like this building is nonsensical. But the rest is fine, honestly. No problem there. So this level is fairly nice. The world design is fairly nice of this level. Not much to criticize there, I feel like. Just a few small things, but it's a fairly good level, honestly. And also a fairly distinct color palette. This darkish greenish blue or bluish green, like this dirt. It feels like a forest or like a corpse, I guess. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.